The Australian government and the live cattle industry have spent the past year trying to get shipments to Indonesia back on an even keel. Part of that has involved better training, better equipment and much more stringent animal welfare safeguards, all the way from territory cattle stations to Indonesian abattoirs. And as important as the politicians, bureaucrats and diplomats are in this process, perhaps the most effective agents of change have been top-end cattle producers themselves, as Christy O'Brien reports.
It's a far cry from their buzzing city life in Java for these 8 animal husbandry students who've just landed smack bang in the middle of the Australian outback.
When you want to stop, you put your foot on the brake and you stop squarely.
For the next 2 months, they'll be calling some of Australia's most remote cattle stations home.
Well done.
And it's by no means a relaxing holiday. First up, they need to get a few basics like mustering, horse riding and animal handling under their belt.
Drop that hand down there.
Local stockmen are only too happy to show them how it's done at the Alice Springs cattle yards.
Okay. If he doesn't go with a squeeze, we just give him a little kick with our feet, right?
On a handful of cattle stations, the students really get to experience what goes into the Northern Territory's most important agricultural trade, live cattle exports. The group is split up and sent off to a dozen corporate, government and family stations, just in time to throw themselves into the busiest time of the year, the mustering season.
Just about everything that we do on a cattle station, and I mean everything. Riding horse, chasing cows, branding calves, vaccinations, cleaning water troughs, fixing fences, cutting up meat. Anything and everything.
The Riggs family were first to sign up to the program, throwing open their farm gate at Lakefield, 500 kilometres south of Darwin, in the heart of prime cattle country.
I think it's a great concept. We got wind of it in January, that it was going to happen. And as soon as we heard that, we stuck our hand up and said, yep, we want to be part of it. The do's and don'ts of what you should be doing when you get out there in the paddock and you get lost.
The visitors couldn't be in better hands. Turns out Gary Riggs has plenty of experience when it comes to breaking in young people to the Northern cattle game. Landline first caught up with him 9 years ago when he was helping run the very popular entry-level cattle handling course at the Katherine Rural College.
Gary Riggs cut his teeth in stock camps across the territory in the Kimberley. Now he's overseer at a station with the highest turnover of stockmen in the industry.
Yep, I get a new stock camp every 3 weeks. Go through the exact same process all over again. It's some of these big stations out there, they get one crew for the year, and normally that crew lasts them right through, but my stock camp changes about 10 times a year. I think back in the late 80s there, people did start to understand that, you can't just grab young kids and take them bush, because basically that's what your stock camps started to be like. It was just people straight out of the towns, cities, and the small farms, and we sort of got there and found out, they didn't know, didn't have a lot of experience, and the safety side of things, so you had to teach them to. And be really aware that these people got themselves into a lot of strife. You didn't have that old experienced stockman around no more. And the duty of care side really started to hit home a fair bit in the sort of late 80s, early 90s in the whole industry.
Soon enough, the new recruits were pulling their weight, along with the rest of the Riggs family. The harsh conditions didn't faze the Indonesian students, who are nailing their newfound stockman skills.
It's give me many new experience, and everything is new, new knowledge. Gary is like my teacher. he is very patient when he explanation everything, like explanation about branding, explanation about like castration, like that. And Talia gave me inspiration how to work hard, how to be woman, but we can same like men to work hard, and we can doing everything like that.
Very different because in Indonesia we just have feedlotting and maybe pastoral like this in Anti and Nusa Tenggara Timur, and I not see a look like this, and I can learn in here. Very interesting.
Start drafting them.
And the feeling's mutual. The Riggs family is impressed by their willingness to have a go and get involved.
How many cattle that we must be mastering for today?
Today, when we set the spare traps, it'll be, paddock's got about 500 head in it.
There is, of course, another important dimension to this educational exchange program that really goes to the heart of the relationship with Australia's biggest single live cattle market.
We're really keen to learn more from the Indonesians, and we're also very uncertain about diplomatic relations at the moment, and we think that they really need to be improved. And it gives us also an opportunity to show through the students our high regard for animal ethics and how we do really care for animals before they go over there.
It's pretty tough. It's a lot of uncertainties. We still uncertain. We still haven't got a future. It's we just live in 1 week after the next sort of thing. It's very hard to get cattle into the marketplace. Prices have dropped away at the moment as well. Because it's hard to get in, we have a lot of cattle that's starting to go overweight, and then once they go overweight, that's putting more pressure on us because we then have to hold them longer.
The $1.8 billion industry is on shaky ground. Most cattlemen don't want to even contemplate such a bleak future. And in the meantime, they're prepared to give anything a go.
We need to understand both cultures better than what we have. What happened last year should never have happened, and it did, but now we've just got the hard yards to do to mend relations, and I see this as a great program. Great for these guys to come on board and learn animal husbandry ways that we do down here, and it's a two-way thing. We actually learn from them as well.
The Northern Territory Cattlemen's Association instigated and funded the Student Exchange program as a way of developing greater awareness and understanding all round.
Last year when we saw the trade stopped abruptly, it struck at the very heart of those relationships, particularly at that sort of business to business and people to people sort of link. This is really a basic common sense human relations exercise about allowing people to communicate and understand each other better.
The industry hopes that students will return home and spread the word of their outback adventure. From abattoir workers, farmers and high-ranking officials, their stories may prove invaluable in promoting the Australian industry and its practices.
We joined with the Cattle Buffalo Club in Indonesia, and we teach my friend and farmer in Indonesia, and we can learn knowledge we get in Australia, go to Indonesia.
I will like sharing information about animal welfare, because animal welfare is very important to give like comfortable if with the animal. If animal is comfortable, we will give a profit, like a good production, a good beef.
I think it's definitely good for those guys to get a better understanding of where the cattle are coming from, and I suppose hopefully improve their understanding of animal production and in terms of where they might be in the future and their careers. But also I think it's probably been really nice for a lot of Northern Territory pastoralists to meet a few Indonesians who, you know, where our product goes, and have a better understanding of their culture as well.
Northern cattle producers have high hopes that this program will go some way to repairing the damage done to Australia's reputation as a reliable supplier of protein to Indonesia, as well as providing an insight into a unique way of life.
Going out to a station and all of a sudden sleeping under the stars in your swag, looking up at the sky and looking like the sky's just going to fall in on you because everything's so bright. So even for Australians it's quite an experience, and most Australians never experience that, let alone Indonesians who come from, in most cases, a highly urbanised, highly intense lifestyle. It's a major shift for them to have made, and the transition has been phenomenal. I mean, the reports back from the stations have been just truly outstanding. People said, we'll have them back anytime. These guys have been fantastic. And the relationships obviously have been enjoyed both ways. It's been a really heartening program.
I hope this program is next year any same program because it's important. We can learn more, not just theory but practice.
Yeah, there's been a big eye opener for these guys here, but they thoroughly enjoyed it. And what I can understand, there's always a happy, smiling face.